welcome back to my channel. Today we're back with a review of the K-drama Military Prosecutor Doberman. And yeah, see, I don't know if you guys have been watching the drama, watched the drama, because it has now ended. The last episode was 26th of April, and yeah, I've got a lot of things to say. So for me, Military Prosecutor Doberman was something new and refreshing, and I had actually waited like 5 or 6 weeks after it had started airing before I watched it, because I hate when I start a drama and it's only like 1 or 2 episodes in. I'm doing the exact same thing for the drama tomorrow that has Rowan in it, because I have a feeling I'm going to really like the drama and I don't want to start it when it only has about 6 episodes, and I know I have 10 more episodes to go before it ends. I hate that. I hate waiting for the episodes to come out. I'd rather wait now and not watch it and binge watch when all the episodes are out than watch a bit and have to wait. So I started watching Military Doberman when about 13 episodes had been out. So I started watching when the 13th episode came out. So I figured by the time I get to the end, I would have caught up, which I did. So I really enjoyed myself. I really enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed how they were teasing us throughout the drama about the romance between Bohyun's character, Prosecutor Do, and between Joboa's character and Cha Prosecutor. And I think it was so cute. I love the fact that I didn't give too much away, but it kept us like on the edge of our seats by using the 2 sub characters. Would have like, oh my god, are they going out? Are they not going out? And I love how they played the romance through that way, while still keeping the focus on the pace and on the story of the drama. I think for me it was really interesting, that concept of Korean military. Obviously, I'm not Korean. I've never been to the Korean military. I know very little about the Korean military. So it was kind of interesting to see how they play topics such as bullying, hazing, corruption, which, we at times see a lot of in K-dramas, but being able to see that in the military concept was really interesting. And I feel like the characters were very, very well played, especially like the commander of the division, the woman, the commander Na Tunang's mother. I think she played the role of a soldier really well, like the dynamics, and I found myself finding it really hard to even like relate with her at the time, especially between what how you would expect a mother to act and how she was acting in regards to her son. Like that scene where she had him hold the hand grenade in that little kind of bunker, I was like, what kind of mother makes their son hold a hand grenade for what he's done? I felt like she was part of the reason of his mental instability and why he acted out, though it wasn't right what he did, but she was a big triggering factor and quite abusive. She was actually she was an abusive mother. She wasn't even physically abusive. We saw scenes where like she would kick him and she would hit him, and she was emotionally and psychologically abusive as well, i.e. that scene with him having to hold the grenade in the bunker. So I wasn't really surprised that mentally up there he had a few issues, as spurred on by his upbringing and by his mother. But one of the characters I really loved was his character, Noteman's character, in that his character development throughout the series was absolutely beautiful to watch. We see him at the beginning of the story, this mean guy, this sport rich kid, I won't call him a rapist, because we found out in the drama that he didn't actually rape the girl, but he was there and he was kind of filming the thing. So this kind of horrible character, we see him develop through going to the military, his character building through his traumas, through his mental illness with his PTSD, to him coming out to become a much better version of himself So much so that he actually reached a level of repentance, being able to recognize that what he did and what is said to, is it Senna or Sarah, the girl that was involved in the scandal with the K-pop star Alan, during the series. So him being able to recognize that what he did to her was wrong, and him being able to, in a way, seek redemption and seek repentance from her and from our main characters, the prosecutors, through that letter. But was also able to see that despite him being that bad character in the beginning, there was still a touch of warmth in him, and childlikeness and childishness in a way in his relationship with his dog Bolt, and the care and the love he had for the dog, and being able to see his maturity even towards the end when he decided to adopt the dog, to give the dog up for adoption by Doberman, Prosecutor Doberman. And I feel like, you know, he became one of my favorite characters towards the end, just by seeing that development. And I actually read a comment in one of the kind of the fan made videos for the show where someone said, you know, they really enjoyed his character development, and that led me to believe the same thing as well. And you know, his development was really great to see. And I think his development actually helped to make the show, in addition to kind of the two main characters as well. But one of the things I didn't really like about the drama, and it might be, you know, a cultural thing, or it might be about differences in mindsets, or differences in expectations, about how they handled the case of that private peon who actually went on a kind of a killing spree at the military base at the border of South Korea, where he actually ended up killing about 13 people in a kind of attack that was spurred on by his fear of you know, something bad being done to his mom, because of what his colleague, I don't know, do they call them colleagues in the military? Do they call the soldiers colleagues? I don't know the word they use. I call him colleague because of what his colleague, this person, had said and done, which kind of spurred him on to this kind of, is it a manic episode, or this kind of hallucinative episode, where it went on this killing spree of all, no, not all, the majority of the soldiers at the base. And I personally found it hard for me to understand the sentence he was given. He was given a death sentence by Prosecutor Cha, which the judge agreed with. And then for me, you know, I was looking at it and I couldn't understand, why was he given a death sentence? I mean, if they were going to kill him off via an execution, why bother uncovering the truth behind the bullying, behind the hazing, behind, you know, that scandal? Because I feel like executing him made that whole point pointless, because even at the end of the day, when we get to episode 16, where they were sentencing the commander, Natanam's mom, the commander, that wasn't even really brought up. His case of the bullying wasn't even, you know, instrumental in her being in her sentence. So why was the case of the bullying brought up? There might as well have been like, you know, Notanam, is it Notanam or Notaman? He was just quiet throughout the thing. It didn't come up. It didn't like spill the truth in regards to the bullying, and Private Peon died anyways. For him to have told the truth about the bullying, and it led to Private Peon being executed anyways, and that fact not being used effectively in episode 16 when the commander was sentenced, for me, I thought it was redundant. Like, why bother getting the truth if you're going to execute him anyways? I thought they would have given him somewhat more of a lenient sentence. Give him imprisonment, yes, but executing him, knowing the fact that the reason why he did what he did was because of, you know, factor X, Y, and Z, and the people who actually bullied him were just given imprisonment. So what are they trying to say? That you can bully someone to the point of them having a mental illness and going on the short of episode, and all you would get is some time in jail, while the person who was subject to your bullying and had to make that bad choice, they have to be executed? Yes, I understand there is an aspect of you paying for your crimes, but I just felt like they could have given them a different sentence apart from execution that would have been as severe, i.e. maybe life imprisonment, something like that, whereby it wouldn't have diminished the purpose of the truth coming out. Because if you're going to have the truth come out and not consider the truth in a sentence, why bother? Like, why bother? And why search for the truth if you're not going to use that in consideration in a sentence? I understand it's a military. Maybe I don't understand. Maybe that's why that's my view. But if somebody can clarify, maybe that's something that's normal, or if it's extreme, or if regardless that would always be the sentence. I don't know. For me, that was kind of a sour taste in my mouth, because I thought the sentence was a bit too harsh and wasn't given in light of the truth that came out. Something else I didn't like was the fact that, we find that throughout the story, they kept telling their enemies the key parts of their freaking story. Like, we see, Prosecutor Doberman talking to, young Mungu and being like, oh, we have something about, they told, the female prosecutor with young Mungu used to help him catch Kanka June in his office, he was telling her the fact that, oh, I got this file I've given you from a spy. Who the hell does that? If you're this close to the end of your goal, why are you telling your enemies about your freaking spies that are giving you information? His mouth was loose, which led to Kanka June being found out. I know perhaps the writer was maybe fishing for ways to bring it all together and have that happen, but for me, I thought to myself, what kind of prosecutor who prizes himself for being cold-hearted, being able to look at things from his head and not from his heart, from an emotional perspective, which kind of prosecutor will think it's smart to tell your enemies your whole plan? For me, I was like, what the hell? Who in their right mind tells their enemies, oh, by the way, the reason why I have this data is because we have a spy? For me, I was like, this makes absolutely no sense. Like, what the hell? That was something else I didn't like. And I just felt like, finally, episode 16 was just anticlimactic. Like, the whole episode was just a shambles. Like, even the sentencing for the commander, I was like, this is boring. Like, if I can use it was absolutely boring. I was like, what the hell am I watching? Episodes 1 to 15, they had their own minor issues, but overall they were great. Episode 16 was just a shambles. But there was one redeeming moment, which was when pretty much the last few minutes of the episode, in which we see Prosecutor Cha and Prosecutor Doberman in their last scene. She comes to the military office and she's like, oh, we finished our mission. And then they're looking at each other, just smiling and staring into each other's eyes. That scene would have been a perfect ending if not for what happened next. Why the heck? I know if it's the director's fault or it's the writer's fault. Why did they give them such a rushed kissing, whatever that was, at the very end of that scene? Like, it would have been so beautiful. I think it would have added more to the element of the drama if they just left it at the scene where they were looking at each other, they were smiling, they left us with that kind of mystery as to we can live it to our own imagination if they got together or not. I feel like they ruined the whole presence and the whole mystery by having them do like a rushed fake kissing kind of thing where they just cut to the side and the camera pans away and we see them in the corner. I'm like, why have you made a sweet scene comedic? Like, it doesn't have to be comedic. You can actually leave it to our imagination and give us something sweet. Because I was like, oh my god, and they didn't even kiss or anything. They were just looking at each other. But I was like, oh my god, you're so sweet, so beautiful, and it absolutely ruined it with that mock kissing, whatever that was at the end. Comedic scene is like, we actually did not need that. Like, they could have left that out of the movie and it would have been great. Like, why did they give that to us? Like, I don't know. I feel like it was just a bad end, like a bad way to end. They could have just left it with the scene of them smiling at each other and the camera could have panned out and then the ending credits and music could have come on and we would have been happy, because it didn't give us romance really anyways. All they gave us was, are they dating? Speculation. So you could have just left it as speculation rather than try to give us something that, if you're gonna give us a kiss scene, give us a freaking proper kiss scene and end it there. Don't give us some half-hearted, you know, camera angle switch comedic scene. Like, that just... But yeah, guys, I feel like if I don't stop, I will complain about that ending forever. I think overall the series was great, but episode 16 was just a shambles and it was freaking boring. The only kind of redeeming aspect of it was that one moment where the two leads were looking at each other and smiling. Every other thing was mediocre, to be quite frank. And one last thing. So we have it that Kang Ha-jin went to prison. Prosecutor Cha told the truth, and we don't know if she went to prison or if she was penalized, but we know that she, you know, was in America for some time, maybe for that whole period of that year, for that year. So I'd be like, so what happened to Doberman? He didn't pay for his crimes. Everybody else paid for their crimes. Even the good characters pay for their crimes. What did he? He wasn't a good character at the beginning. He did some bad things. And even though, you know, Prosecutor Cha, she was a relatively good character in that what she did for the good, really, of catching the bad guys. But Doberman in the beginning, he was the bad guy. He was the one who took bribes to forge sentences and to not do his best as a prosecutor. Why was he not reprimanded? Why did he not get some kind of sentence and the other characters did? Were they trying to paint him as a good light? Because if the other characters had to kind of redeem themselves for the bad they did, he ought to have redeemed himself for the bad he did too, even though in the end it became good. So that for me was a bit of a question mark. Like, I'm like, what your girl is telling you, or your speculated girl is telling you, by the way, I'm gonna tell the truth about my life as the redhead girl, and you're looking at her like, he didn't even say, if you're gonna tell the truth, I'll tell the truth too. My man was looking at her like, what kind of man is that? I mean, I like his character generally, but I don't know what the writer was doing. He should have had a redemption arc too. He should have had some kind of, even in the case of he told the truth and they were like, you know what, because of all the work you did and bringing up the bad guys, we will give you a pardon. That would have made sense, but there was nothing of the sort. It was just like, all right, girl, you do you, boo. I'ma still be here hiding the fact that I was a bad guy, you know, trading sentences for money. Lord have mercy. But anyways, guys, there were a few parts of the drama that I didn't like, but overall, you know, I would give the drama, I'll actually give it an 8 out of 10. You know, episode 16 knocked off 2 points, and a few other points I've mentioned during this video knocked off those 2 points, but overall I would give it a solid 80%. That is still, what, an A star? So it did quite good actually, but it wasn't a perfect, nothing's perfect, right? So but yeah, I hope you find this video interesting. Have you watched Military Prosecutor Doberman? If so, what were your thoughts? Feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and if you haven't yet, please do like and subscribe to this channel, and if you feel inclined, please do also share so anybody else that might want to rant about the about the drama or share similar views or praising views. And if you understand what went on with the whole execution sentencing for the private that shot his comrades, is it comrades they use? Please do know expatiate further in the comment section below. But thank you all so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.